So I decided to do this video in two parts. Well, not two parts, but two versions of it. I'm gonna have my YouTube freebie time-lapse version, and then I'm gonna do, I'm making this other version as a free complimentary lesson, just because I wanted to show my love and appreciation for all my subbies on YouTube and my students who are paying to be with me and take my classes on Awesome Art School. So I'm going to do two. Well, I'm going to start off with two. This may end up being a whole library of free lessons, but I'm going to start off with, well, let's just start with one, shall we? And I know I'm going to do more, but I start with the one that I know. So I did a, let's see, in the end, I guess beginning of June 2017. I'm just saying that because I'm going to leave this up forever on my channel, and I'm kind of just doing this as a verbal record of when this all happened. I did a giveaway on my YouTube channel, and I was asking, as part of my contest to win, I was asking people for ideas for this journal, which is 7 by 28 inches. It's super awkward because it's two long cereal boxes taped together. So I have all these like elongated what's it called? Well, projects, really. And so I need more ideas of elongated projects that I can do. So I was requesting that, and someone had, one of the winners, I had my kids pick, the winners, was to do a wiener dog across the middle. So that is what I'm going to do today, and I'm going to show you my process. I, more often than not with my mixed media work, I start with collage, because generally I don't know what I'm making or where I'm going. I might, go on Pinterest and find like a cute cartoon. I like to work off of cartoons a lot. They just set the mood, make me happy, and yeah, that's just part of my process. And they rarely look like the cartoon when I'm done. But I just, sometimes I'll grab an expression. I always make it mine in the end. But, yeah, I like cartoons. What can I say? So usually I do collage. Today I'm not going to do collage. I'm going to do this whole thing. I'm going to glue. Hi, Zoe. Oh, I have to have Zoe come say hello, because she always does. There's the Jojo. Yes, Sharuni. I'm going to just glue this whole thing across, and you're probably thinking that there's some like miraculous reason for that. Don't bite my paper. I know you like to bite paper. Thank you. Bye-bye. But I actually don't have a reason. I just feel like it. This is what I feel like doing today, and so I'm going to do it. And I wish I had more like reason than that. But truth be told, I'm a little anti-authority. I'm a little I don't know, I just get tired of like doing the right thing all the time and being a perfect parent, and it's kind of exhausting, to be honest. And you know what I love about art is that I get to do whatever the heck I want to, and I don't even have to have reasons. So there. I know that sounds like I'm like a 6-year-old. Like, I'm doing it because I want to, but like literally I'm doing it because I want to. Because I feel like it, damn it. And to me, that is the biggest gift that art gives to me. So there you go. I saw this paper, it was in my attic, and I said, I feel like gluing that down to my journal, and so I'm gonna do it. And I hope that art gives you that same kind of freedom. Sorry, just grabbing my smock. Gives you that same kind of freedom. And I think it's funny to me when I have students and they get caught up, and understandably so, in doing processes that are, really correct, or you're trying to copy something and you can't nail it down. And you know, sometimes you have to go, which is kind of one end of the spectrum, and that's legit, and I get it. But the other end of the spectrum is just, you know, just doing stuff just because you want to do it, and it, you know, who cares if it doesn't look perfect, because the whole point is just doing it because you want to. This is, oh, this is matte medium that I'm globbing around, and if these pages don't, if this doesn't stick to all the other pages, this will be a miracle. I'm using a lot of it because I want it to make sure that these pages stick. Alright, so why am I using matte medium and not like Mod Podge? Because if you follow me at all, you know I am obsessed with Mod Podge. I don't use Mod Podge yet. I could. I really could if I didn't have any on top, but I'm going to be gluing this on the bottom. I'm making sure I'm getting this totally coated 100%. Let it soak into the cardboard here. Mod Podge is a little slick. Matte medium is matte. Even though Mod Podge says it's matte, it's not matte. So I have to use Mod Podge at this, matte medium at this point, because I am not ready for, I use Mod Podge because I always use my pit pens on top, because it creates like a slick surface, and it's awesome for blending with my pit pens. People ask me that all the time. I think actually a lot of people get really annoyed that I always use Mod Podge, because it's not technically a fine art, you know, product, and I think it pisses a lot of some people off, which I find hilarious. But this kind of just goes back to that whole thing of like, too tough, but you know, too bad. I do things because I feel like it. The art is the only part of my life that I get to do whatever I want, and it's very liberating for me. So if you have a problem with Mod Podge, don't use it. Too bad. But I'm gonna keep using it because I love it, and it works exactly how I want it to work. But I understand that people have questions, and I also, you know, I don't go out of my way to sell any of my work either. I do all of this for me. It used to be about that. And then it's kind of exhausting. You're sort of explaining yourself to people. And I'm like, you know what? I like doing it because it makes me feel good, period. And if I can teach, you know, my methods to others, and pass along that whole feeling of feeling good and freedom, that is way more important to me than just like, you know, making a quick sale on a piece of art. I really could honestly care less about that. So I'll do like, I just sort of have, I do note cards and whatnot, just because I have nice images, you know, that can be used for things. So that's okay. And that makes me happy if people want to grab a card for a couple bucks, but I'm not doing it for the money. I do it for my sanity. All right. And because of that, I get to use whatever I want. Such a brat. All right, so this is a good coat under it and over it. And it's all nice and juicy. And now I have a really funky, like, automatic background. Ba-boom. Now you're probably thinking this is going to be a background. It's probably going to become my foreground, to be honest. I'm kind of in this mode lately of doing the collage as the main beast of my, the main focus of my subject instead of the background. Now I could easily paint, you know, a dachshund or a wiener dog on top of this, and that would make an awesome background. But I'm on this tear, like I just said, and I'll explain more, of using, you know, using what you would suspect would be the background and actually cutting out around it and making that come forward. So I probably will do the same thing with this dog, just because, again, I feel like it. I'm so sorry that I don't have like a sophisticated answer for the rhyme or reason of my work, but I don't. All right, this is like ooey and gooey. I'm gonna go wash this off and then dry it with my hair dryer, which is gonna take a while. Super boring, so all right, I'll see you in a minute. That actually didn't take that very long at all. All right, so I said I like to work from cartoons. So I went on Pinterest and I was looking for ideas. All right, so I'm gonna say, I think I was inspired by the cape on this one. I thought that was so super cute. So first I thought the Dachshund was gonna be like, you know, have the pattern on him like this guy. But then I saw the cape and I was like, ooh, what if I had him literally flying across the span of this, and then his cape was actually this design instead of his body. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. And I love the faces on these guys. So I think I'm gonna incorporate like the cartoony, crazy-eyed look. Again, if this was like a piece that I was gonna sell, I would not be looking at references as closely as this. I would definitely make every effort to just make up my own. I'd probably look at like 50 references, you know, commit them to memory, put them all away, and then draw the face. That way I know for a fact it was mine. I might copy these more closely because this will never be something that I will be selling. So this is just for me. It's for practice. It's for fun. I'm practicing my drawing. I'm teaching you how to practice for drawing. So I think that it's perfectly acceptable to copy when you're learning, as long as you don't, you know, as long as everyone knows that that's what you did and you're not trying to rip off another artist, because I certainly would not want to do that. Okay, so I'm about ready to draw. In picking a drawing utensil, I mean, you have a lot of choices. You can't really erase much, so you have to go bold. You got to go all in with this stuff. I've never drawn a wiener dog before, so this will be my first time. I'm just picked up a Jerry's Artorama Jumbo Jet Black pencil for zero reason. I just was sitting in front of me. I think I can erase it because it's good and beefy, but I don't know. It also needs to be darker so I can see it. Alright, so I'm just gonna draw the back of his... I don't even know what their tails look like. Oh, they're little cute little things. Alright, so whoop, there's his bum. And then I'm gonna have his little feet. They have like weird hind quarters, don't they? I should probably have printed out more references. Or maybe have him lower so his cape can be down here. Let's see. Well, they do have kind of like little tubby tummies on them too, don't they? Let's see, he's coming down like this. Whee! Oh, and his little ears can be flapping. And his little front leggy. Oh, they have that like chesticle. My husband I call that of a dog. Their chest. Oh, where's that eraser? We always call that a chesticle. Kind of like testicle, but with a chest. I don't know. We're super weird. Don't even ask. All right. Okay, so the front. I don't even know how you would draw this. All right, so the ears are going to be, if he's flying, let's see, the little leggies are going to be shooting like this. The snout is like super snouty. And then this looks like a platypus, just saying. The little chesticle action. Let's see, the ear is here. The eyes are gonna be like oversized and looking back at us for like, help. Like, how did I get flying? Your little wet nosy nose. You can't even see that. I'm trying. There's some sort of a semblance of a face, sort of. His back leg over here seems highly insignificant. Let's see. There's the tail. I'm like doing a cross between a complete cartoon and, you know, something else. Alright, now he's going to be wearing this cape, I decided. So there's the cape. Needs to have like a slogan, or this is going to be a little dry. So we'll have to figure out how to like pop in some sort of superhero lesson. Because so far, while it is a wiener dog across the page, I'm a little uninspired by what I have going on here. So, all right. Maybe he has to have like toes or something. Like, yeeks. A lot of times too, you know, all of it is sort of in the face, the facial expressions. If you can nail the face, then that usually can take care of the rest. Right now he looks very insecure while he's flying. So if he's going to end up having a quote, it probably should have something about bravery or something like that. All right, I'm gonna just get my paint out. I'm just gonna go. I gotta think less and just paint more. So let me get some brown. Yeah, just going for it. I know, I could get a plate, but that would just take so long. This is Lucas Krill Studio. I used to teach painting to kids, and this was in birthday parties, and this was great for traveling. These big bottles. He looks like a grasshopper at the moment with like wings. The other little paw would be behind it that way. They do have that really long kind of beak, so to speak. I might paint back in an orange kind of strip. They are some seriously cute dogs though, aren't they? I used to want one. The long haired ones are really cute. You know, this 28-inch journal is no joke. And people are so funny. They're like, we're eating cereal so we can make a journal, which I think is so awesome because, you know, you're saving money, you're saving the environment. But then I'm like, I highly discourage you from getting the really big boxes. When you put them together, you have quite a lot of weird art projects that you then have to come up with. Just take it from me. But I appreciate the help on these. Oops. Boop, boop, boop. Maybe he'll have a big fatter belly here. Boink. Oh, that looks better. He's got like retro 70. I guess I have sort of a couple of retro reminiscent works as of late. So that makes sense. And he's kind of monochromatic at the moment, but we can fix that with, let me grab a different color while it's still wet. This is yellow ochre. Not that this guy is tremendously realistic or anything, so I don't really need to go crazy. Trying to make him like, you know, shadowed or whatever, but I think in all our projects it's nice to have a little bit of a, just because you're lazy doesn't mean you don't have to try, right? Because trust me, I am lazy. All right, so he's garnering some personality. Whee! He's pretty cute actually now that he's painted in. All right, so I just took a hair dryer and dried that. A lot of my YouTube videos, okay, all of my YouTube videos, I don't show the drying process. I spend a lot of my time drying layers, truth be told, but no one wants to watch that. But between every layer, I generally try to dry things. Oopsies, as I blob white in different places. That's really nice. So while I was blow drying him, I was trying to figure out too, this is just white, what I wanted to do for the background. You have a couple options you could do. I like to do black gesso a lot for the backgrounds because it's so opaque and you can really, truly, really cover up anything. So that is an option. But then his body is so dark, that dark brown, that I don't think that would look like very colorful or happy. So I think what I'm going to do is, I have this really awesome turquoise. Just washing my brush. I have this turquoise by that same brand, and it's really opaque. And I think I'm going to do that all around it because it's kind of matches my funky. Okay, there's like a hair, ew, or something. Matches the paper. So yeah, and I'm gonna use black for his nose. You can even do it with a paint marker if you wanted to. Let me just get some. Black. I actually really love Liquitex Black Basics. It is actually a really nice paint. There was cat here. So I get his little nose here. Whoop. But what I love doing, always doing paper first, because it gives you so many opportunities to be creative. You can, you know, put your subject on top, and like we just talked about, and have an immediate funky background that you couldn't even possibly paint, right? Or you can carve out the subject like we're gonna do with a cape in a second. It just really opens up a lot of doors. All right, so I am gonna get a plate. Get off my slackerness because I need to be a little bit more careful when I'm doing my background. This is totally clogged. Alright, so my turquoise doesn't exactly match the background. And I could do like I could do a turquoise cape, right? And leave the background as is. So, you know, you just have, it's just totally personal preference. And then when I cut in around him, I'm gonna cover up my pencil that you know, my not perfect pencil. Okie doke. Just responding to a text because it's never a dull moment. I have 3 kids. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut in around. And you could like leave some of the extra, you know, the outside if you wanted to preserve some of that because it's so, that paper is super cool. Or you could just cover it up. Sometimes it's fun to cover it up because some people are like, how did you get the cape? Like, what is that? Did you paint that? You know, kind of fools them, which is fun. And I did put some wax paper under here. So that way I could be sloppy and not hit all my other pages. Not that they're like super masterpieces or anything, but just so I don't have to keep worrying about it or wiping it off or whatever. When I'm finished with all of my pages, I spray them with a acrylic sealer. This cute doggy. See, now we're getting somewhere. He's getting cute already. And it's kind of cool because there's some lumps and bumps. You know, there's texture under that paper. So when I was a beginner art student, texture terrified me. Like there was really nothing more scary than like a lump under my surface. That made me highly uncomfortable. or like a wrinkle in my paper. I'd be like, woo! And like collage, forget about it. I was like, that looks like a hot mess. That is very ugly. Right? It's hard to learn how to let go. But once you do it and you realize that like your world is not going to fall apart, it's very liberating. You're like, oh, I can make a mess and, you know, there's zero consequences. It's just a mess. It's just a mess, people. It's no big deal. It's like of all the crazy things that are in the world that are so stressful and so important, your art journal made out of cereal boxes should not be one of them. And so I refuse to let the troubles of the outside world permeate into my fantasy world of drawing and painting. This is only where the fun stuff happens. So I hope you can do the same. It's good for the body and soul. This is a very philosophical lesson. I don't normally talk like this, but it just goes to show you what how therapeutic art is. Normally I just rock out and go, but clearly I needed to talk to you guys today, so at least you get a free lesson out of it. Alright, so I'm just carefully cutting in right all around my big fat Bubba wiener dog. Thanks to my participating subby. It's so cute. When I first started my YouTube channel, my kids were like the ones who were like, you have to do this, you have to do this. And I remember the first time everyone was like, you gained a subby, and I was like, I literally was like, what the hell is that? And my kids are like, it's a subscriber. And I was like, oh, no way. I didn't know what a little subby was. It was so funny, and I felt like such a loser because I have these, you know, grandmothers on there like, new subby. And I was like, oh, so cute. Now I know I love it. But yeah, I was definitely clueless when I started my channel. That is for sure. My kids are the best though. They're definitely my biggest cheerleaders, which is so cute. Alright, so we're coming to the end. I'm like painting on the pages below it, but those have not been finished yet, so whatever. Zoop. I'm cutting it around as somewhat carefully as I can. And so you can see there's like all this texture under here. It's a little hard to see, but there's texture under here, but it's nice. I like it now. Alright, I kind of changed the shape of my cape. There he goes. Look at him. He's very impressive. So I could go back, if you see my original line down here, and I could make that a little bit. I don't know. I don't really know. I'm not sure that I care all that much, to be honest. I could cut it down a little bit and see how that looks. It's all good. It's just his cape. Originally had it more like that. If I worked quickly, I could grab like a baby wipe and wipe that gesso away, but I think that looks fine. So now I'm going to take my smaller brush and just cut in to these areas. Woo! That need a little bit more closer attention, like his super anatomically correct feet. I just made. yeah, so I mean, if you're gonna do cover up work, just make sure that the paint you're using is opaque, or else it's kind of a bummer. It's not as satisfying if you can see through it. Sometimes that's an desired effect. There's a desired effect. There is like a gesso. A lot of people cut around with white gesso, so it is like purposefully transparent. But I think if you're gonna cut in, I think you should personally go for it and cut in all the way. But who cares? What does it matter what I think? Not much. Okay. Just cutting around his face. Cutting in, not cutting his face. That would be very sad. I have to say I don't enjoy cutting in. It's not fun for me. I like it when I'm in free scribble crazy mode. I'm not really, my forte is not pink, is not to be careful. But as this is being painted by request of one of my subbies, I will do my best. Cutting around his cute little paws. Which again, I'm pretty sure are going in the wrong direction now that I think about it. Ooh, well. Ah, well. Whichever. Okay. They do have those little whip tails, don't they? All right. I'm gonna just dry that with my hair dryer. Stay tuned. Okay. I'm gonna just do another coat on the white of the eyes before I figure out what I want to do next. I hadn't planned an outline for this guy. He doesn't need one. However, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over him with my Stabilo. I use Stabilos in almost all of my videos, and I feel like some people might not understand why or know what that is. So I'm actually gonna do, even though he doesn't really call for it in my opinion, but I'm gonna use it anyways on him just to show you my process, because I think some people are like, why do you keep using Mod Podge and why do you keep using that stupid pencil? So I'm gonna show you and tell you why. All right, so here we go. Boom, boom, Stabilo. This sucker is my favorite utensil. It really is. All right, so why is that? So and while I chat, I'm just gonna outline him. I think it's so cool that you can activate this so much. What do I mean by activate? Well, you can take a regular water-soluble pencil, and they make them, you know, in the same variety as regular pencils. And you know, you take water and they turn into watercolors. Okay, in case that somebody does not know what I'm talking about, let me do the fastest demo. So by activate, she was done in Tombow markers, which is kind of similar, only it's a marker instead of a pencil. So I just wrote with my Tombow, and when I add water, you look at that luscious, yummy, I mean, it activates for days, okay? And it turns into sort of a paint, if you will. I'm a little bit obsessed with that, and no matter how many times I do it, I kind of can't get over it. I love it every time. So, yeah, so what happens is I outline, you know, some stuff or whatever, draw. I love to draw as much as I love to paint, which is why I love mixed media. And I guess there can be like a line where his other leg is. This paint is still wet. So what happens is I use the Mod Podge to activate it instead of using water to activate it. And then also, because it's so like activatable, like I just showed you, is the Mod Podge, you get like unexpected kind of scary results. Like it will spread this, or if you're doing eyelashes on something, it will like sweep them away off your page, and it's very scary, and I think it's like super exciting because I'm a total dork. And so that's why I'm always using my Stabilo. I also use it because it draws over literally everything. So if I am doing one of my weird duct tape pieces of art, I can draw over that with my Stabilo. Like you can literally draw on everything. And that's why it's called the Stabilo All. The all refers to being able to cover over anything. And it does. So we can make this like a girl. Maybe I'll make some lashes on her and you can see what sweeping unexpected results we get from that. Outline her cape now that she's a she. Zoop, 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 zoop. And again, this does not actually, you don't need to do this step, but I really want to demonstrate why I'm super weird and obsessed with my Stabilo. First, I'm going to outline, try this. I hope that's dry enough. So I'm going to outline the eyeballs. Please be dry. I'm not gonna do, if I did like a big pupil with the Stabilo and then I took the Mod Podge and activated it, it would be a serious hot mess because all that would get too much. That's too much. Okay, so you can do a little bit with the eyelashes. I'm trying to think. We could do I really want to do that though? I might be taking this demonstration a little bit too far. I'm trying to think. I think I might like it just the bare bones. All right, I'm not going to do the eyelashes. I take it back. But you'll be able to see completely clearly when I do the Mod Podge exactly what happens. And there's the inside of the ear a little bit, and there's a little smile, right? Okay. Before I do the Mod Podge, I'm just going to do a little stamp because this is very plain for me. Old Karen would have loved, this would have been like perfect. But I like to get a little bit more, more things going on before we call it a day with the Mod Podge. So I'm going to get some stencils and I'll be right back. New stencil, I just spot. Woo, with all these crazy arrows. I figure because it's like, where are you flying, little doggy? I really want to do orange on top of this, but the thing you need to know about orange is that 99% of the time oranges are just not opaque. They're just not. I have yet to find really good opaque orange, although when I do find them, the really good ones tend to be super highly toxic. So I really want to do orange, but I'm going to stamp, oh nuts, I'm going to stamp in white instead because at least it'll kind of punch up what's going around with the eyeballs. So I'm just gonna lay this on here like this. I have like a sponge that's disgusting and dirty and I just keep using it anyways. I'm gonna dab it in the white and make some crazy frame out of some of this fun, whoop, these fun arrows. Oh, so cute. Gives them a little context. They're kind of big, but you know, whatever. Can't have fun, what's the point? Okay, and then I don't want to get, this is kind of still wet over here, so I need to be a little careful. So I usually do, like, I like it kind of makes like a frame around him a little. Him, her, ha. whatever. Oh, look at that. You could line it right along the bottom. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. This is a really fun stamp. I'm not gonna lie. I think I got this at Tuesday morning. If you guys ever get to go to, if you have a Tuesday morning in your area, I didn't really ever give them any, you know, much thought. Except they have like a killer random leftover craft aisle, which I have, like, every time I go in there I get something. I think that I got this there. It was like $2.99 or $1.99, and I know this is, if I had seen this at Michael's, it would have been like $14.99. So, yeah, just a little word to the wise about Tuesday morning. I'm trying to think if I should weasel some on the inside there. I could, but I'm pretty happy with that for now. I don't even wash my stencils. I just leave it. I'm going to dry this with my hair dryer. I just realized I got some turquoise on his body, so I'll just fix that really quickly. And actually, this is a little, I can see through here. There's some white. Not my best painting job in the whole world. So I'm gonna go over this with my hair dryer, and then we will pour some Mod Podge. I was just looking at him while I was painting, and I realized, you know what, I think I do want more. I think I do like it closer. You know, as if it's really truly the background kind of thing. So like weasel some maybe in here, this empty space. Okay. That is plenty. Okay, so it's Mod Podge time. You can see this in, I think, literally all of my videos, wherever you are. This is my favorite part. I like look forward to it the whole entire, oh, you know what? I don't know that that's even dry yet. I'm gonna start over here. Not very patient. I think some of my white paint is still dry. I mean, wet. Oh boy, so we'll see. All right, so I buy it by the gallon because I use it. All right, so it's gonna activate. Is like a lump in there? There is a lump in there. All right, so this is gonna activate my Stabilo, but it also, you know, it protects everything, right? It seals in all those layers. It does a lot of different jobs, not just the one. I could also like finish everything and then just do this as the very last stop, but I also like to work on top of it too. So I do it when I'm like 3/4 of the way done. You see what I just did there? How it just smeared. It took that line and it just smeared it. And that's where the activation, or the magic, I'd like to say, happens. So here I'll do is pour some over his face. If I were you and you're doing this, I would just put it on a plate. Don't do this. I'm a very experienced Mod Podge pourer. So, you know, I'm like expert at it. Pouring Mod Podge. Much to the horrification of everyone who watches me. But I just love it. I never get tired of it. It's like fun every time. And if you see like this is like a big smear. If that's really bothering you, you can kind of like, you have like a second to redirect some of that if you don't like it. I tend to just leave it. I just go with the flow. Yeah, and then what's so cool too is that when you go to use your hair dryer to dry this, it dries really fast. Like in 5 minutes, it's gonna be ready for the next thing. So it's like, goes with my whole being lazy and having no patience. Okay, so I said 5 minutes. It actually only took about 3 minutes. And then look, it's kind of like a totally different dog, right? So the black gets really smeared and it just creates this wonderful effect that you can't do naturally. I just love it. And so people, that's why I have to Mod Podge. I'm gonna go over his little nose again. And I usually do 2 layers. I will do this twice. Because I'll go back and I'll see like this cut more. I won't do it twice in a row, but I will end up doing it twice. This is this paw. I think this is the one behind it. So kind of differentiate that. And the rest looks fine. Oh, his little feet need a little redo back here. Yeah, I just love it. And I really just, I think a lot of people think I'm crazy, but there is a reason why I do that. And now we are ready for the next step. Okay. I can't not have orange. Just gonna start my next step by saying I cannot not have orange. I need it. It's just like so all alone, and having orange somewhere else would really tie it together. So I know I said they're not opaque and they're not. So I'm just gonna have to deal with it, even though it's not opaque. I have a lot of different oranges. I have this Dilutions, but it's a little too light. This Lucas one is really spot on. I know for a fact it's not my favorite, but I just, even if it's not perfect, I need some because it's driving me crazy that, ew, I just stuck my hand in the white, that there is no orange anywhere else in this project. And there just has to be in order for this to make sense. So I just have this polka dot stencil. And yeah, I gotta add some stencil on stencil. Things are getting crazy up here at Awesome Art School. Oh, I feel better already. Oh, so there is some. There is just a little. I'm just tacking a little at each corner. Yep, just had to do that. And yes, it's a little busy with the 2 stencils, but I don't care. Don't care, don't care. Big hair, don't care. And I just stuck my hand in it too. Nice. All right, so I just had to do that. It's just a little bit at each corner and a little bit up top. And my lighting is terrible. That's worse. But when I get back from picking up my sons, I will finish this off for you guys. But I just had to have orange in there. It was driving me nuts. Okay, I will be back. We will finish this. All right, so back home. Kids are settled. Blah, blah, blah. All right, so the next thing, oh, I gotta turn that off, that you guys probably see me do all the time in my videos is after I do the Mod Podge, I usually go for my Pit Pens on top. So Pit Pens are a permanent ink pen made by Faber-Castell, and they come in a whole bunch of different colors. They are pretty pricey, but I mean, I've had these for years and I have not had to replace a single one. They just keep going and going. Just treat them nicely. Always make sure when you're using any kind of marker that your surface is 100,000% dry before using them, or that's like a surefire way to kill your marker. So this is totally dry. I've been away for a few hours and coming back. So I'm gonna just add in his little eyeballs here. And let's see, I think I might just use my Stabilo just to like do a little outline of kind of where I want that to go. That looks about right. What I like about the Stabilo on the Mod Podge is if I can just wet my finger a little bit and it actually wipes completely away. I also have my trusty Stabilo all in a white, which you don't see me use that often, but it's super duper just as handy as that black one is. I'm going to use it in a minute. So I kind of put down the, you know, I think I'm going to put the eyeballs about here. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Let's see the eyebrows. Again, you can kind of, he's like sort of confident, you know, a little nervous, gives him that kind of cute, funny little cartoon expression. A lot of times you'll see me take my Pitt pens too and like go over all my Stabilo marks. It just depends on like how carried away I'm getting and what I'm kind of in the mood for. Totally can. I just take a smaller, this is just a thinner nib, this is a B, and go over everything. I do that all the time. It's just personal preference if you're in the mood or not. Another thing you'll see me use all the time is my water-based white Sharpies. Now Sharpie, as you know, just regular Sharpies, you know, it's like the world's most famous, awesome marker. These are actually alcohol-based markers. They work awesome with Copics, which are also alcohol-based. But the water-based paint pens are seriously awesome, and they're 100% opaque. And they work great over everything. So you'll often see me using them in all sorts of applications. Just like that. Bam. Done. So what else? I think he needs a quote because he's so cute now. And he just like has that expression like he's like, I'm flying but I'm scared. He also needs, I need to like make sense of how his cape here is wrapped around him. So let's see, we can do that with black. We can do that. I do have like these colors. Now these aren't as opaque. Nope, you can't see those. So I might just do like, you know, kind of like, it doesn't actually make sense. I guess I have to sort of tie it that way. So that's the best thing I can come up with. And now that I've introduced that, I sort of feel like I have to carry it through a little bit. So I'll, you know, maybe put that into the cape, flying cape. And now he needs a quote for sure, or else he just doesn't mean anything. So you know what I was thinking? One of my favorite songs is, you know that song? It's like, hey, 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 living like a renegade. And he says, all hail the underdogs, all hail the new kids. And I was like, ooh, he's kind of an underdog, right? He's a dog, literally. So I thought maybe we could do like all hail the underdogs, like right here. I'm going to turn off my overhead light and see if that makes it less shiny. How's that? It's a little better. It's still shiny. So see, that's what I mean. Like that matte medium is not, that matte Mod Podge, excuse me, is not all that matte. So, but again, the Pitt pens work like a dream. Oh, another thing you'll see me do real quick before I do the quote is how awesome these are for blending. So when you put them on the Mod Podge, they stay wet because of that slick surface, and you can blend them really easily and really well with your finger. Okay, if you can just let it sit and not do anything, and then obviously you don't have to blend anything at all. But things blend remarkably well, and so that's one of my favorite things to do, and that's another reason exactly why I use those, because I use the Mod Podge, because it's like sets me up for some seriously awesome blending with my Pitt pens. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, since I don't know exactly how the quote's going to look, normally I honestly don't even think about it, I just plop it on there, but just to show you like how useful these Stabilos can be. This is the Stabilo in the white. I'm going to do it a white across hem so I can kind of practice. All hail the underdogs. Yeah, that looks fine. You can't see very well. I didn't want to do it really dark, but you can see it's in there. Boo, boo, boo. Now, if I didn't like that, I can just literally take a baby wipe and whoosh, wipe it off entirely. So yeah, and you have a lot of different white options. I like to use these things. You'll see me use these on occasion. This Irresistible Pico Embellisher. The white isn't opaque as the black is black, so I tend to use the black liner more than this one. It's kind of cool because it kind of is like puffy paint where there's like a three-dimensional aspect to it. I'm just searching for a Sharpie that's not quite as fat. They come in different thicknesses. I'm looking for the fine. This, instead of a medium, this is an oil-based. The oil-based Sharpies I do use, but the white is not very opaque. It's kind of sticky and gross, so I tend not to use it. The black is actually lovely, and the black I will absolutely use, but and this one is kind of exploding everywhere. But you know what exploding white is good for? That's good for some of this action. You'll see me do this on occasion, so it makes great, you know, splatters. All hail the underdog. Underdogs. There we go. You got to be confident with your writing. I have terrible writing, so then you just go with it. Yeah, I feel like the only thing he's missing is maybe some. He's missing a little black, I feel like, in the background, maybe. Maybe we can do some black splatters. Where's my ink? Here's some ink right here. Let's see if I can get, this is Liquitex Inks. Is literally just sitting in front of me. I'm just making sure this is opaque. Yes, I think it's permanent. Permanent would be good. This is like another reason why I really like to do I'm getting a brush. Another reason why I like to do another layer Mod Podge, because if there's anything under there that's like not super permanent, you can. Alright, so I'm just taking this little brush and I'm tapping it and getting these awesome splatters. It's just like one more layer of yummy going in the background. Well, I'll zoom in at the end and you can see it. Way like that. So cute. Oh yeah. All hail the underdogs. All hail the new kids. Oh, I think I can put that, since this is a free video, I can't have that as the song in my, what's it called, YouTube video. I definitely cannot do it there, but I could sneak it. Probably in my awesome art school. So there's my doji. All right, I'm gonna turn my camera on so you can see it better. And put it up so you don't have the reflection. So there he is. Oh goodness. He's pretty cute, right? And you can see those splatters up by his face. Oh my god, his face is hilarious. All hail the underdogs. Alright, I'm gonna just stop, but that's just, sometimes you just gotta sing it, you know? So there's my doji. Alright, and my wiener dog is done. Oh, and I forgot to mention too, I have a Facebook group which is Awesome Art School. So you can look me up there, and if you have any questions or if you want to tackle this project, you can totally give it a shot and post your pictures. I would love to see that. and I will keep a lookout for you.